Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness unto light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om. Peace. Peace. Good morning and namaste, everybody. We are back again. Today we have something special, at least to my mind. It's my favorite book. Yesterday, in fact, a gentleman asked me, tell me your one favorite book. It's very difficult for me to think about one favorite book. But one easy answer is this book, the one we are going to talk about today. And the reason I know it's my favorite is once, first time I went off to the Himalayas to stay by myself and meditate and practice, I took only one book with myself, and it was this book. An older, much more battered edition. So this is this Ashtavakra Samhita, also known as Ashtavakra Gita. It's basically a dialogue between the Emperor Janaka and the great master, the sage Ashtavakra. It is one of the most well-known texts of Nondualism, of Advaita Vedanta. But it also has to be handled with caution. What is it? What's so beautiful about it? There is one, the translation which I use is made by Swami Nitya Sarvapriyananda from our own order, who was the founder of our Institute of Culture. Those are from Calcutta, Gol Park, Ramakrishna Mission Institute of Culture. It was founded by this Swami Nitya Sarvapriyananda. His translation, I use that. However, there's another translation which I like by Thomas Byrom. Not like the poet Byron, R-O-M, not N. He also was an English teacher. But he did a beautiful free translation of this book into English. The translation is called The Heart of Awareness. The Heart of Awareness. Very easily available online. And there are a number of other translations also. In that translation, The Heart of Awareness, Byrom gives a very beautiful introduction. He says there, I'm paraphrasing, that when all the other teachers and all the scriptures of humanity, all the philosophers and sages have fallen silent, have had their say and have fallen silent, Ashtavakra begins at that point. He says that in this book you will find no arguments, no attempts at rationalization, no arguments, no stories. In the Upanishads, for example, there are stories. There are teachers and students. There's a story of Nachiketa, the little boy who went to the home of death, and so on. No stories here. No arguments. It is just one thing. It doesn't even talk about many things. Just one thing. Not even flourishes of language. It's in Sanskrit, but the Sanskrit is a very simple Sanskrit. No attempts at being poetic, although it is very sublime, actually very poetic, but he doesn't bring in any complication at all. It's very straightforward. He's not even elliptical or trying to make it abstract or obtuse. It's very straightforward. And he does not say many things. He just says one thing. Throughout, all through the book, in the hundreds of verses here, he just says one thing again and again and again. Somebody called it a grand monotony. And what does he say? That you are Brahman. That you are limitless existence, consciousness, bliss. That's what he says. In hundreds of different ways. He just points that out again and again and again. Byrom says that the words in this book, it's as if they appear from light, they become like words in this book, and they disappear back into light. So Byrom says that, he says that, very beautiful turn of phrase, he says, that these words, as if they are coming from light, and they come onto the page, and they disappear. The moment they touch the page, and as soon as you read them, it's like they disappear back into the radiance they had come from. Such, the message is so sublime, so direct. What this book deals with is the identity of Atman and Brahman.
there are two kinds of spirituality possible. One is the God-centered spirituality. When you go to a church here in Vienna, you'll see the God-centered spirituality. In Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and many, many forms of Hinduism, the whole of this spiritual approach is about God. It's God-centered. You are worshipping Sri Ramakrishna. What was his spirituality like? His spirituality was, for him, God was mother. It was Kali. And he saw himself as a child of Kali and trying to have the vision, the living experience of Kali. So that's one kind of spirituality, a God-centered spirituality. God is defined as the reality of this entire universe, the power behind this universe. There is another kind of spirituality, which is not really known in the West. Nowadays it is known, but 100 years back it was unknown basically, but very well known in India, which is a self-enquiry based spirituality. Which is a self-enquiry based spirituality. You see, all our experience of life is of this format, subject and object. Just think about it, your life, my life, all of our lives. The only way you can experience life is as a subject, and you experience everything else as objects. So, it is not surprising that spirituality should also have a subjective side and an objective side. When you have the objective kind of spirituality, you have the dualistic religion, the mass religion, the worship of God. You're seeking some ultimate reality. The subjective side of spirituality is an inquiry into who am I or what am I? Who is this one who is trying to be spiritual? So this subjective side of spirituality, this kind of spirituality was developed by, for example, in India, most well known would be Buddhism. There's no talk of God. It is an inquiry into oneself. What am I? What are we? But not just Buddhism. Jainism also. This is not a religion well known in the West. Jainism also. It's not a God-centered religion. It is actually a self-enquiry based religion. In Hinduism also, philosophies like Sankhya. No talk about God there. So self-realization. Yoga, although God is mentioned there, in yoga philosophy you have a place for God, but there also the goal is self-realization. So you have these two kinds of spirituality. A God-centered spirituality, and I won't say a self-centered spirituality, that sounds very bad. A self-inquiry based spirituality, looking inwards into oneself. And both have their advantages and disadvantages. The disadvantage of the God-centered spirituality is it depends on faith. It can always be, it always has been, and especially in this day and age, it can be doubted. How do you know that God exists at all? Where is the evidence for this God? No evidence at all. That's why it can be doubted. That's why there always have been atheists throughout the history of humanity. And today also it's even stronger because we have a science-based world. An empirical evidence-based world. So where is the evidence for this God? So that says it can be doubted. As against this, the self-inquiry based spirituality doesn't suffer from this weakness. Because I exist, you exist. That's the one thing that nobody doubts. That was, the Descartes' whole discovery. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. Our own existence cannot be doubted. It's the one irrefutable thing in all our knowledge, that you are there. So that problem is not there in the self-inquiry. The object of inquiry cannot be doubted, that I am there. The question is, what am I? In the self-inquiry based spirituality, one may have this question that, I exist, I know that I exist, but that's the problem. My existence is surrounded by so many problems. I have physical problems, health problems, financial problems, relationship problems, political problems, social problems. I am surrounded by problems. Fear of old age, disease, death, failure, unhappiness. I am surrounded by problems. Now you see, two kinds. One is the God-centered. God has no problems. God is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. What problems does God have? Except one. Does God exist or not? That's the only thing. And on the other hand, I exist, there's no doubt about that. But I have endless problems, endless limitations. God has no limitations, God is infinite. Only problem is we don't know if God exists. And the other one, on our side, we exist, there's no doubt about it, but we have endless limitations. Now, why am I saying all this? The beauty of Advaita Vedanta, the beauty of this approach is, it brings these two together. What this one wants to say is that what you are seeking when you are seeking God and what you are seeking when the Buddhist or the Jaina or the Sankhyan is inquiring into the self, both of them lead to the same realization or the same reality, let's say. Let me phrase it another way. You'll see the elegance of this approach. What this approach does is, it combines the infinitude, problem-free nature of God, all the goodies of God, with the absolute certainty of your own existence. I'll repeat that. And if you see the beauty of it, you know you exist. Nobody ever doubts that. But we have doubts about the existence of God. That's why faith is required, belief is required, and so on. You know that we have problems as human beings, but God has no problems. Now, can we have something which has the problem-free, infinite nature of God and the absolute certainty of our own existence, both together? So you will have something which is absolutely certain, beyond any doubt, and yet completely problem-free, completely free from suffering, free from all limitation. And that's the Vedantic conclusion. The famous Tattvamasi, you are that. Your reality and the reality of God is one and the same reality. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. If I were to know myself as I truly am, I would realize I am God are the same reality. Now, Vivekananda often would say in America, when Americans would come to him, sometimes he would say, if only you knew yourselves as you truly are. Meaning thereby, if you did that, all your problems would be over. At a deep existential level. Not that financial problems will be over, your medical problems will be over. No. But then you would have something from which perspective these would not matter. You would be able to deal with them. Like I said yesterday, Sri Ramakrishna dying of cancer. How are you today, sir? And he says, it hurts and I cannot eat. Then that young man says, but sir, I see that you are in great bliss. Apni Mahanande achen, you are in great bliss. And Sri Ramakrishna says, O shala dhore niyeche, this rascal has found me out. How can you be in great bliss in dying of terminal cancer and in actual pain, and still you can say that it's all right, I am fine? What enables us to do that? That is the whole focus of it. And Ashtavakra goes straight to that teaching. And that's the only teaching that Ashtavakra gives throughout this book. You are that. Aham Brahmasmi, I am that infinite. And keeps on pointing it out to us again and again and again. This is the book for the beginner and this is the book for the advanced student. If you have studied Vedanta for a long time, if you know what it is, you have studied the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, the commentaries, you have gone to direct path teachers, Ramana Maharshi and Papaji, and nowadays it's very popular in America. Adya Shanti in Europe, you have Muji who is there in Portugal. If you have heard all these teachings and you've got, this will make sense to you immediately. That's what he's talking about. You will enjoy every bit of it because you know all those teachings and we have been studying it for such a long time. So all these verses will speak deeply to you. Every word will be significant. You will see how much of thousands of years of literature, non-dualist Vedantic teachings have been packed into these verses. And it's very old actually. On the other hand, if I am a newcomer coming first straight to this book, even if I don't know Sanskrit, just the English translation, that also appeals in. That's the beauty of this book. Even without any teaching, you just go directly to the text, it speaks to you. You can't make sense of it, you can't explain it rationally, but it feels like the truth. It immediately inspires and it gives strength and inspiration. Alright, so this is enough advertisement. Yeah. Now the disclaimer, the fine print, the caution, buyer beware. I remember when I was the first time I was in the Himalayas by myself, in Gangotri. I used to live in a log cabin and study and meditate. I had only this book. Initially. And then I met all sorts of monks and spiritual practitioners who had come there, who were living there, meditating, living this austere hermit life. One gentleman I met, he was reading this book too. He had his own copy. And he says, this is wonderful. My guru, I don't know why my guru didn't tell me about this earlier. He spends his time, He spends his time repeating the mantra and, watering the tulsi plant, what a devout Hindu would do. He said to this gentleman said to me, "Asli baat to yahan hai, the reality is here. Why he didn't tell me about it earlier?" Now I happen to know his guru. I had met him. His guru is a very good monk. So I said to this gentleman, "Do you think your guru has read this book?" He said, "Yes, I got it from him." So after knowing all this also, he is still watering the tulsi plant and repeating the mantra. I said, "Yeah, that's right." Let's not be over-enthusiastic. People become over-enthusiastic about this, and the first result is that I abandon all my spiritual practices. I don't need to meditate. Ashtavakra will tell me, your only bondage is that you seek to meditate. So one gets carried away by this. There's a meaning to it, but one gets carried away. One drops one's regular spiritual practices and so that is one danger. One teacher said, it is true that with eyes open and with eyes closed, it is the same reality. It is true. But never give up your daily meditation practice. The eyes closed practice. Never give that up. It is true. Whatever is there in the city is also there in the forest. But never miss a chance to go into a retreat. It is true. What you are and what your guru is, both are the same reality. But never forget to give respect to your guru. So, the cautions. I gave some 7 cautions there. Another thing is a superiority complex. Once one reads something like Ashtavakra, and then I know it, and you all the other religious followers, you believe in God. What superstition? Come here, this is the broad daylight of truth here. Oh, you're trying to meditate. What will you do with your eyes closed? You're praying. What are you praying to? Whom are you praying to? So this looking down on other spiritual traditions and practices, avoid that arrogance. As Vivekananda said, 1 ounce of practice is worth 20 tons of tall talk. So one must be careful, be conservative about this. Do not give up your spiritual practices. Do you do so only at your own peril? Do not look down upon other spiritual practices, other spiritual traditions, religions, practices. This is so logical, so straightforward, and so obvious. Compared to this, let alone other religions, compared to this, even science seems like superstition. This is so you'll see, it's stunning. All right, so enough advertisement. We'll go into it. It's long been my favorite book, and many people love this book. I remember a typical mistake. I remember once I was in our Mayavati ashram in the Himalayas. It's an ashram established by Swami Vivekananda for the practice of Advaita Vedanta only. No worship of God, no rituals, nothing. I was there at one time, and I saw this young man who had come from the United States. He was sitting and meditating under a tree and reading this book. When he came to me and he said, "I'm a little worried." Why? You see, I have taken 2 months leave from my job. He works in Wall Street. 2 months leave from my job. It's almost over. I'm only 2 more weeks left. And I'm not enlightened yet. I said, "Well, it takes time and you don't have to rush it." And he said, No, I don't like that kind of attitude. Sri Ramakrishna himself scolded. In Bengali, he said, "Dhime te tala." When you play the tabla, there is a slow beat. Sri Ramakrishna said it won't do to be like that in spiritual life. You must have some intensity, some pluck, some go and get attitude, go-getter attitude. So he said, he's in a hurry to become enlightened. But that attitude is, I have 10 things to do. Climb Mont Blanc and sail across the English Channel and become enlightened and all of that, and finish that and go back to Wall Street and join my job before my vacation is over. Not like that. Here we are talking about ultimate things. If you have other things to life, finish those things in life. This is the end game in life. This is not just one life. The whole of our existence, from beginningless time, from lifetime to lifetime as we have gone, it comes to a conclusion here. So, no hurry. No hurry. If you have other things to do, other games to play in life, play it. Take your time. Advaita Vedanta is not missionary. We don't want to convince you and bring you into the Advaita Vedanta church. No. Take your time. In fact, the traditional teachers were just the opposite. They would put up endless barriers on your path to make sure that you really, really wanted this. All right. Now today what we will do is, I'll take up some verses from it. One of my favorite sequences in this book. Many areas are favorites for me, but one of my favorite sequences. The other thing about this book is, wherever you dip into it, it's like the sea. You dip into it and taste it, it's salty water. Similarly, you dip into this book anywhere, from the beginning to the end. Read one or two verses, it's the exact same. It's not a book which you have to read from cover to cover. You just take up anything and stay with it. So we will do that, but before that, we will have a meditation. Today's sequence is meditation, study, question, answers. So the usual sequence is hearing, question, answers, that is reasoning, and meditation. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Yesterday we changed the order a little bit. Today we will do the meditation first, because when people are fresh, when you've already heard a long lecture and you're tired or hungry, not then. When we are fresh, we'll do the meditation, and then we will do the study and then questions. And remember, it's always the same. What we will meditate upon, that alone we will be studying, that alone we'll be trying to understand in the question answers. All right. This meditation will have three parts. One is a relaxation part, which has nothing to do with Advaita Vedanta. You can do it for anything. It's basically an adaptation of Yoga Nidra. Those who do yoga, Hatha Yoga practice, the Yoga Nidra is done in the lying posture, Shavasana, in the corpse posture. That's when you can get the deepest relaxation. However, we won't do that. We'll do it in a sitting posture. I've adapted it. It's like Yoga Nidra light. But even then, those who have never done it earlier, you will experience some of the deepest levels of relaxation that we have ever experienced. And that's still much less than the actual Yoga Nidra, which if you have a yoga teacher who can show you easily. Any yoga teacher can teach you that. So first is deep relaxation, step 1. Step 2 will be the actual non-dual meditation. Step 3 will be taking it with eyes open. The same non-dual meditation continues into life. 3 steps. Relaxation, the non-dual meditation with eyes closed, and the non-dual meditation continues with eyes open. What is that? That's just your life. And we will see that. And that's important, because the whole aim of practice is not to create a division between practice and life. This is my yoga practice and that is my life. This is my meditation practice and that is my life. No, this meditation practice has to flow into life, so that with eyes closed and eyes open, it should ultimately be the same for us. That's the ultimate goal. All right. Now when we are comfortable, we can sit straight, don't be rigid. As far as possible, try to keep the spine straight, but without being rigid, relaxed. You can keep your hands on your lap or your thighs, whatever is comfortable. During the meditation, if you want to adjust, you can. Don't strain. Don't be dead serious or dead earnest. No, that will go against the relaxation. If you feel like coughing or sneezing, do it. Don't fight it. The main thing is to be relaxed. As far as possible, we'll try not to move, to be still, physically still. When we are comfortable, when you feel comfortable, you can gently close your eyes. Eyes closed, sitting straight. Breathing normally, breathing in, breathing out normally. Don't force the breath. If a short breath comes, let it come. If a long breath comes, let it come. Let it go. Breathing normally. Now you listen to my voice. I will call out, as in Yoga Nidra, I will call out different parts of the body. As I name the part of the body, just visualize it. Nothing very serious, nothing very intense. Just visualize that part of the body and feel that it is relaxed. Feel that it is getting heavier and relaxed. Like that, we will scan the whole body and have a deep relaxation. Sitting straight, relaxed, awake. In breath, out breath. Left foot, big toe, relax. Left foot, first toe, relax. Second, third, fourth, little toe, relaxed. Bottom of the left foot, relax. Top of the left foot, relax. Left ankle, relax. Lower left leg from the ankle to the knee, relax. Left knee, relax. Left upper leg up to the waist, relaxed. Left waist, relaxed. Right foot, big toe, relaxed. First toe, second, third, little toe, relaxed. Bottom of the right foot, relax. Right bottom, the top of the right foot, relax. Right ankle, relaxed. Right lower leg from the ankle to the knee, relax. Right knee, relax. Right upper leg from the knee to the waist, relax. Right waist, relaxed. Whole left leg, relaxed. Whole right leg, relaxed. Whole waist, relaxed. Breathing normally. Tummy, relax. Chest, relax. Lower back, relax. Upper back, relax. Left hand, thumb, relaxed. First finger, relax. Second finger, third, fourth, relax. Left palm, relax. Left wrist, relax. Left hand, relaxed. Left arm from the wrist to the elbow, relax. Left elbow, relax. Left upper arm from the elbow to the shoulder, relax. Left shoulder, relax. Left armpit, relaxed. Right hand thumb, relaxed. Right first finger, second, third, fourth finger, relaxed. Right palm, relax. Right wrist, relax. Right hand, relax. Right lower arm from the wrist to the elbow, relaxed. Right elbow, relax. Right upper arm from the elbow to the shoulder, relaxed. Right armpit, relaxed. Whole left hand, whole left arm relaxed. Whole right arm relaxed. Breathing normally, relaxed, awake. Back of the neck, relaxed. Front of the neck, relaxed. Back of the head, relaxed. Top of the head, relaxed. Forehead, relax. Relax the muscles, relax. Right eyebrow, relax. Left eyebrow, relaxed. Right eyelid, relaxed. Left eyelid, relaxed. Right eyeball, relaxed. Left eyeball, relaxed. Nose, relaxed. Right ear, relax. Left ear, relaxed. Right cheek, relaxed. Left cheek, relaxed. Upper lip, relax. Lower lip, relax. Tongue in the mouth, relax. Lower jaw, relax. Upper jaw, relax. Chin, relax. Whole face, relax. Breathing normally. Whole lower body up to the waist, relax, getting heavier. Whole upper body, relax, getting heavier. Whole body, relax. Breathing normally, whole body relax. Focus on the breath at the nostril. The breath coming in, count mentally 1. The breath going out, count mentally 2. Again in 3, again out 4. Like that, count up to 10. Breathing in 1, breathing in 2, breathing out 2, breathing in 3, breathing out 4, up to 10. Relaxed. Visualize in the center of the chest a warmth, a warm golden light pulsating with the breath. This warm golden light, visualize at the center of the chest. It spreads, nourishing to every corner of the relaxed body. You're bathed in this warm golden light, nourished. Gently become aware of the sounds in this room, the sound of my voice, the sound of the rain. Listen. Sounds in the room, sounds outside, sound of the rain, distant sounds of the city. Listen. Do not try to visualize or follow the sound. Just listen to the sound itself. Notice how the sound arises in your awareness, how the sound plays about in awareness, and how the sound fades away. And then other sounds come. Listen to the sound of the rain. In me, the awareness, the sound of rain arises. In me, the awareness, the sound of rain plays around and fades away and again arises. Relaxed, breathing normally. Listen. Sounds are different and many. Awareness is still the same. Sounds come and go. Awareness is always there. Sounds have variety. Awareness is always the same. Listen. In me, the awareness, these sounds are arising, playing around and disappearing. Exactly in the same way, in me, the awareness, the tactile sense of heat or cold, pressure, comfort and discomfort are arising and playing around and fading away. Awareness is the same. In the same awareness, smell arises, taste arises and fades away. Later, when we shall open our eyes, in the same awareness, colors and shapes will arise and fade away. Awareness is the same. In this same awareness, thoughts arise, ideas arise, understanding arises, memories arise and again sink and subside and fade away. Same awareness. In this same awareness, moods and emotions arise, good feelings and unpleasant feelings, pain and pleasure. In the same awareness, understanding and ignorance arise and fade away. In the same awareness, actions arise, sitting and talking and walking and grasping and driving and working. All actions arise in the same awareness and fade away. Awareness is constant. Breathing normally, relaxed. In the same awareness as my entire waking world arises, including my experience of the body. In the same awareness, my entire dream worlds, they arise, including my experience of the body in dream. In the same awareness, nothing arises and deep sleep ensues. The states of waking, dreaming and sleeping come and go in the same awareness, just like the sound of rain. Listen to the rain. What arises in awareness is many. Awareness is one. What arises in awareness keeps changing. The awareness is one. Just like the sound of the rain. Listen. All our life, all our sensations of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching is like the sound of the rain. Listen. All our internal thoughts, memories, ideas, desires, conclusions, judgments are like the sound of the rain. Listen. All our sensations of pleasure and pain are like the sound of the rain. Listen. All our actions, walking, talking, whatever we do in work and at home and leisure, they are like arising in awareness, just like this sound of the rain. Listen. Awareness is the same. What is here now with eyes closed will be there also when with eyes open. What is here now sitting will also be there standing and walking. What is here now when we are silent will also be there when we are talking. In waking, dreaming and deep sleep is nothing more like than the sound of the rain. Listen. In this awareness arises life and also death. It is all like the sound of the rain. Listen. Just arising in awareness. Just a display in awareness. And I am that awareness. Relaxed. Breathing normally. Now, as we move to the last part of this meditation, we will take it out into the world, from practice into life. Before we open our eyes, we will chant Om 3 times together, and after the third Om is chanted, don't open your eyes immediately. Look down at your lap, and then gently you'll open your eyes and look up. Let us chant Om 3 times. When you are comfortable, gently open your eyes and look down at your lap. Take your time. And we can gently look up when you are ready. Notice nothing has changed. In me, the awareness, the sound of the rain, I heard it. In me, the awareness just now has been added sight, forms, and sensation, and thoughts, and memories, and a personality. They are all arising in me, the awareness. Let us stay as awareness and continue to experience life. Nothing more than sound of rain. Just as you quietly listen to the sound of the rain, you quietly listen to life, to experience life. Gently ease this non-dual meditation into life itself. So that was the three parts of the meditation. The initial relaxation, and that is common to any kind of meditation. I mean, it can be used with advantage anywhere. It has nothing to do with non-duality as such. The second part of it was the non-dual meditation which we did. And the principle of that is pretty simple. Relax the body, then calm down the mind, shut down sensory activity as much as possible. Then whatever remains, sensations, whatever remains, something like this. We had a beautiful rain now. That really helped. So just notice it is arising in awareness, this sound of the rain. Even the memory of rain, that it is, I'm hearing the sound of the rain, I'm sitting in this chair, these are also arisings in awareness. And I am that awareness. And then extend it to every experience of life, all the five senses, all the actions that we do with the body, all the internal thoughts, emotions, ideas, all the pleasant and unpleasant experiences, they are all arisings in awareness, just like the sound of the rain. That's what life is, always has been, and always will be. It's choiceless. You can't do anything about it. All we can do is recognize it, and that sets us free. What we normally do is, we grab part of what is appearing in awareness as I, me, myself, and the rest of what is appearing in awareness as, that's nice, I want that, that's terrible, I want to avoid that, and in between is something indifferent, I don't care. And then samsara starts for us. But if the whole thing is an appearance in awareness, which it is, if you stand as awareness, if you settle back. Sri Ramakrishna gave an example once, which is, I didn't find it printed anywhere, but I heard it from a senior monk. He said, you know what the Atman is, pure consciousness is? It's like your favorite pillow. Just relax back into it. It's right here, always available to you. And then look at life. Now, I'm going to the text. I'll just read from it and translate and comment upon it. Just keep listening. Let it also be like sound of the rain, arising in awareness. Soak it in. This is, I'm reading from, doesn't matter, but I'll give you the verse number, from chapter 15 of Ashtavakra Gita. And I'm reading from verse number 4. The original Sanskrit, Ashtavakra's language, then translation and a short commentary. Natvam deho nate deho bhokta karta nava bhavan chidruposi sada sakshi nirapeksha sukham chara. You are not the body, nor is the body yours. You are not the doer, nor the enjoyer. You are consciousness itself, the eternal witness, and free. Go about happily. Now, what he has said here, first of all, you are not the body. We'll see what he means by this. Even the body is not yours. We might say, yeah, I don't mean that I am a bunch of flesh and blood, but it's my body. No, not even that. You are not the experiencer of pleasure and pain, bhokta. You are not the doer of actions, karta. It's exactly the opposite of what we take ourselves to be. The undoubted fact of my life is I am experiencing life. I am the one who experiences pleasure. I am the one who enjoys. I am the one who suffers. And Ashtavakra says, no, you aren't. Why not? All enjoyment, all suffering is like the sound of the rain in your awareness. It's an arising in awareness, a display in awareness. All action is also like that. Then what am I? If I'm not the body, not the mind, not the doer, not the experiencer, then what am I? Chidruposi, you are of the nature of pure consciousness. Sakshi, Sada Sakshi, all the time, choicelessly, you are this awareness in which what you call life is playing around like sound of rain. You are free of it, samsara, even while experiencing it. Nirapeksha. What do? Sukham chara, very interesting. He always concludes with this, be happy. Go about happily in your life. Not that you have to retreat and sit on a mountain top. Now that I have become enlightened, I'm going straight up the highest point of Mont Blanc. I'm going to sit there. No. Be in Zurich. Sukham chara, go about happily. Go about your job, your family, your personal life, whatever it is, go about happily. It's all sound of the rain anyway. The good and the bad, the pleasant and the unpleasant, all of it. Life and death, waking, dreaming and sleeping. All right. Now let us dive into it. Natvam deho. You are not the body. This is the first big obstacle. What we have done is, something that is arising in awareness, we have grabbed it as, I am this. And I've forgotten that I'm awareness. I've forgotten the awareness. It's as if it's rain. No. It's awareness in which the sound of rain is arising. We have caught hold of the body and said, I am this body. I am this. Elsewhere, Ashtavakra says, either Ashtavakra or Avadhuta Gita, it says, the entire world, including this body, appears to me at once. So either I am all of it or none of it. I'll repeat. The whole of the world, including this body, appears to me. I experience it at once. It arises together. So I should either be all of it or none of it. But what I do is I make a nice division. This is what I am, and the rest is not me. Now I engage with the world. Samsara starts. So natvam deho. How do I understand that I am not the body? So I am going to give you a series of arguments. You have to do two things with these arguments. These arguments are not mathematical or logical proofs. They are more like a lawyer's arguments. When the lawyer tries to convince the jury and the judge. So a battery of arguments. We're going to do two things with these arguments. We're going to try to understand the arguments. They're pretty simple. And then more importantly, notice what the arguments are pointing towards. Just like hear the sound of the rain. It's not a theoretical thing I'm talking about. Here, right now. Yesterday I said Advaita is like this, catching the nose. It's like that. Straight. Experience, not theory. Theory is only in Advaita Vedanta, the theory, the teaching is only a pointer towards something that's always there. When I say listen to the sound of the rain, it's not a theoretical idea. I'm pointing to something right now in your experience. This is also pointing to something right now in our experience. All right. So a battery of arguments. Let's go. First one, I will use the most powerful one which we built up yesterday. The foundation we have built yesterday, seer and the seen. What I see is flower, is something that you see. And this is distinct from the eyes which see it. Separate. See? It's separate. The eyes, I blink my eyes, I notice it. The eyes are distinct from the mind which notices the eyes. And the mind, thoughts, feelings, emotions, it's distinct from me, the consciousness. So the seer and the seen are different. Look at the body. It's pretty obvious. It's an object of all my senses. I can see the body. Just like you see this, you can see the body. You can see the body, you can touch the body, you can smell the body, you can taste the body. If your tummy is rumbling with hunger, you can even hear the body. One of our monks, he was sent to with this ashram in the Himalayas, which I referred to, Mayavati ashram. It's a very, very quiet place. India is a noisy place. But Mayavati ashram, Himalayas are quieter, and the Mayavati ashram is extraordinarily quiet. Some kind of acoustics of that valley, so it absorbs sound. It's very quiet. And one monk complained, at night you're sitting and working, he complained of some rhythmic pounding going on, some hammering sound. Later he realized it was his own pulse. It's so quiet. So, this body is an object of all my senses. I can see it, smell it, taste it, touch it, hear it. It is the seen, the heard, the tasted, the smelled, the touched. And therefore it is distinct from me, the seer. This is the first argument. Drashta and Drishya, seer and seen, are two different entities. So whatever I am, I'm surely here. I'm surely embodied. I'm here. I am this person. But I'm not literally what I'm aware of. What is the difference between this flower and this hand? Both in principle are objects to me, the experiencer. Why should I say that I am this hand and I am not this flower? Both of them I am not. Both are presented to me equally. Somebody asks, this is in one of the texts, Upadesha Sahasra. A student says, wait a minute, not so fast. If you do something to the flower, if you tear off a little piece of it, I'm sorry flower, but here. Nothing to me. Both are objects. But if I tear off a hair or scratch the skin, it hurts. How can I say I am not this body? It hurts. The student asks Shankaracharya that if you burn the body, it hurts. It burns, it hurts. How can you say it's an object like the flower? And Shankaracharya, listen to the answer. Even the hurt, the pain, that sensation of pain, is it not an object? Is it not experienced in you, the awareness, just like the sound of the rain? Like that, pain is also experienced. That's also an object to you, the awareness. Why do you say, it is my body because it hurts? The hurt is also an object. So, drashta and drishya, seer and seen, they are distinct. Since I am aware of the body and since I see the body, then I am not the body. That's one argument. Understand the argument, the nuances of it, and then see it as, okay. If I hear the sound of the rain, what am I? I am that which is hearing the sound of the rain. Am I the sound of the rain? No. Then I am experiencing the body. Am I the body? No. So I am the drashta, the seer of the body. The body is the seen. The two are not the same. That's one argument. Argument two. Little subtle. Play on this only. Consciousness. Awareness. I am aware of the sound of the rain. On which side am I? Am I on the side of the me, I, the self? Am I on the side of the rain or the side of awareness? Where am I? I am awareness. I am not the rain, not the sound of the rain. I am aware of the sound of the rain. So, you are aware and you are aware of something. You are aware of the sound of the rain. Sound of the rain is not aware of you. Sound of the rain is not aware of itself or of anything else. You are aware of the sound of the rain. You are aware of yourself and of everything else. You are chit, consciousness. And the sound of the rain is called jada, insentient, not conscious. Similarly, the body is insentient, jada, not conscious. And I am conscious. I am chaitanya, chit, awareness. The two arguments seem similar, but they are different, distinct. How are they different? The first argument is seer and seen must be different. Body is the seen in the sense of seen, heard, smelled, tasted, touched. And I am the seer. Therefore, I am distinct from the body. I am not identical, literally the body. No. Similarly, the other argument is that I am aware of the body. The body is not aware of me. So I am chit, chetana, sentient, aware. And the body is jada, achetana, in Sanskrit, not conscious, insentient. It's an object. I am sentient. I am aware of it. Second argument. Third argument, changing, unchanging. The body changes so much from babyhood to childhood, to teenage, to middle age, to old age. And I feel I am the same one who was in that baby's body, in the young person's body, in the middle-aged person's body, and now in the old person's body. The body has changed so much. And many people, just yesterday somebody was telling me that a friend of his looks into the mirror and says, I still feel the same, but my body is now 70 years old, 75 years old. I feel I am the same one. It's a true intuition. One Mataji in Santa Barbara, she said, I was walking by the shops in Santa Barbara in California, and I looked in the shop front window, and first thought was, who's that old lady? She says, in my memory, I became a nun, a Mataji, 50 years ago, and it's just like yesterday. So I am the same intuitively feeling, and the body definitely is changing dramatically. Changing and unchanging cannot be the same thing. If somebody is running around and you catch hold of it, either you will be dragged along with that person or that person has to stop. You cannot be one with a changing thing and still remain unchanging. So I feel intuitive. It's an intuitive argument. I'm unchanging and the body is changing. Therefore, the two cannot be the same. This is an argument. Remember why I said these are not mathematical proofs. You can always argue back against it, push back against it, but it's trying to point to something. Take a look at that. Fourth one. These are all simple, psychological, but also effective. One and many. I know I am one entity. I am a unit. I am one. But the body is made of so many parts. It's made of different organs and tissues and cells, divisible down to the molecular, even atomic level. This tremendously composite entity called the body, and the simple identity, single entity called I. How can they be same? One and many, simple and composite. How can they be same? They cannot be same. The self, whatever it is, we'll see pure consciousness or not, we'll see later. But with self, this feeling, the intuitive feeling of the self, I, we always feel I am one. We never feel I am a committee. Even persons with multiple personality disorder, they also are one person at a time. They never feel I am a committee. I am this person or next some other person, but I am one. So one and many, ekam anekam, therefore I am not the body. Another one is a subtle, very simple, almost naive argument, but psychologically powerful. Notice, I always feel embodied. You all feel embodied. We feel I am here. You might say I am not the body, but I feel I am here. I feel embodied, I am here. If I am here, embodied, then I am somewhere in this body, not physically maybe, but the word would be phenomenologically. In my experience, I am here somewhere. Then I am the in here, and the body then must be out there for me. Inner and outer. Antara bahi. Just like inner clothes and outer clothes. I'm wearing a vest, and on top of that a shirt, and on top of that a piece of cloth, a chadar. So, that which is inner must be distinct from the outer. I always feel in there. I don't feel I am there unless I am having a out-of-body experience. I feel I am in here, and the body then must be out there for me. Just as with regard to the body, the world is out there. With regard to me, it's easy to see the body feels out there. It's surrounding me. In fact, Upanishad doesn't say, Vedanta uses the term koshaha, sheath. So this is the fifth argument. Antara bahi. Alright, these five are enough to go on with. Let me repeat the arguments. And then repeat the arguments, I'll just name them. Now we know. Seer and the seen. Drashta and drishya. Therefore, I am not the body. Body is seen, I am the seer. Argument 1. Argument 2. Chetana jara. I am aware of the body. The body is not aware of me or anything else or itself. So, conscious and not conscious. Chetana jara. Second argument. Third argument. Changing and unchanging. Savikara and nirvikara. I am unchanging, intuitively speaking, and the body seems clearly is changing. The two cannot be the same. And the fourth one is ekam anekam, one and many. I am clearly one. I am very sure of that. But the body is certainly not one. It's made of many, many organs, some of which can be replaced. Have you heard of the ship of Theseus? So which parts, Theseus went on a trip, and as he went on a long trip in his wooden ship, some parts decayed. So whenever he would go to a port, he would replace those parts with new parts. Years later, all parts of the ship had been replaced, once or more. Now, is it still the same ship or not? You have to say yes or no. The body is like that. But I clearly am not like that. I am one unity. So, one and many, they cannot be the same thing. So, I can't be the body. And then last one, inner and outer. Antara bahi. So, for these 5 reasons, naham, natvam, deho, the master says, Ashtavakra says, you are not the body. Then we say, yeah, I know all that, but it's just a play on words. It's my body. I know I'm not the shirt, but it's my shirt. It belongs to me. The body belongs to me. He says, next, Ashtavakra. This is why it's so stunning. It exactly preempts us and says, Nate deho. The body is not yours. You're not the body, nor is it yours. What do you mean it's not mine? One sadhu explained it very nicely. He said, is the body yours? Show me your papers. In America, the cops will pull you up in a car and say, show your papers for the car. Similarly, show your papers for the body. Where does it say that the body is yours? Did someone gift it to you? Do you own the materials out of which this body is made? Not at all. I remember seeing, so it was so sublime to hear Carl Sagan. Have you heard of Carl Sagan, the astronomer? When we were kids in India, we had a television serial, an American television serial on Indian TV called Cosmos. So there, I still remember Carl Sagan saying that how these elements in the body, they were produced in the nuclear furnace of stars. So for millions of years, the particles in our body have been traveling through space, and they're part of the earth now, and they've come into our bodies. I remember his words, so sublime, we are made of star stuff. We are literally made of stars. We are made in stars. In that sense, you are a star. Not the Hollywood kind. In Hollywood, if you walk, there is a star walk. So if you walk there, it's very near the ashram. Whenever I would go to the Hollywood library, you would go on top. So all these stars are there. I think Donald Trump is also there probably. So all the stars are there. But not that kind of stars. We are made of star stuff. This body is made of star stuff. Did you make the body? Do you own the elements out of which the body is made? Not at all. Not at all. There is a joke. There is a priest and a biologist. The biologist tells the priest, we don't need God for life anymore. We have made life in the laboratory. The priest said, really? Show me. So he takes him to the laboratory and says, first you take a little bit of earth. And the priest says, get your own earth first. So the material, we have not made the material. How do you say that do you own the materials out of which it was made? No. Did you make the body? Even your parents didn't make the body. Biology made the body. You didn't even make the body. You don't own the materials out of which the body is made. Nobody gave you the body. You don't have the legal documents to this body. How are you saying it is my body? I said, this is all a play on words. It's my body because I control it. Really? Do you control it? Go to any physiotherapy unit where there are patients of stroke. The hand which is responding to my commands. You have to see how complex a mechanism is involved to make the hand respond to what I think are my wishes. The moment there is a stroke, nothing. Even if I want to raise one finger also, it's impossible. How much treatment and physiotherapy and good luck is necessary for doing that one little action which was very natural to me all my life. It is not under our control. There is a very, very complex, little understood biological mechanism which connects the physical body, the organs and muscles to the nerves to the brain, and from brain to you, the conscious self. Nobody knows how it is connected. Nobody knows. Anybody who tells you different is lying or doesn't understand what he or she is talking about. So, we do not control the body, and thank God we don't. We are so incompetent, our powers are so limited. Imagine the tremendous activity that's going on in this body. We couldn't even do 1% of it. If nature says, if God says, or nature says, whatever, Mother Nature says, all right, it's your body, you drive it now. Immediately you have to call 911. What happened? He took charge of his body. Collapse. You'll die within seconds if you try to run all these processes. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, Prakrityeva karmani kriyamanani sarvasha. Nature alone does everything that's going on in nature. In the external world, in your body, everything is being done by nature, not by you. And then, next line, yapashyati tathatmanam akartaram sapashyati. The one who sees the self in that way, that I am the observer of the natural processes, realizes that I am not a doer, not an agent of doing. All that is going on in the body and in the external world is like, what is its relation to us? It's like the sound of rain. Listen. It's appearing in me, the awareness. I'm not making it happen. So, then what am I? Chidruposi. You are awareness in which the body and all its activities appear. If I am not the body, then, and body is not mine, then I am not the doer or the experiencer. This requires some understanding. What's going on according to Vedanta here is, I am awareness. And then you might say, yeah, but as awareness, I am experiencing. No, wait a minute. What's happening here is, Vedanta says that this awareness is reflected in the mind as what is called reflected consciousness. Right now, what we feel as awareness, we all feel aware. We not only feel the body, we feel the mind, we also feel aware. We feel conscious. The usual meaning of the word consciousness or awareness in the dictionary, we all feel that right now. We all feel aware. But Vedanta says that's not pure consciousness. That's not the Atman. That's a reflection of the Atman. It's a bit like a mirror and a reflected face. In a mirror, I see my own face, but that's not my real face. It appears in the mirror when my real face, a mirror is brought in front of my real face. Notice, my real face is not seen. I can't see my real face. I can see a reflection of it or a selfie of it, but I can't see it directly. Similarly, pure consciousness is not an object. We talked about it yesterday. So if you feel that you are aware, that awareness is not pure awareness. That awareness is reflected awareness. And that is what is implicated in experience in life. Whatever happens in the world, through the body and the senses, comes into the mind and is illumined by reflected awareness. That's what is called experiencing. Bhoga in Sanskrit, pleasure and pain, which always our old Swamis used to translate as enjoyer. It's not just enjoying, it's also suffering. You are not the enjoyer or the sufferer. The word bhoga in Indian languages, in fact, sometimes, at least in Bengali I know, bhoga is often used in the sense of suffering more than enjoyment. Bhoga is enjoyment, but bhoga is khub bhoganti hocche, a lot of suffering. So, both enjoyment and suffering are made possible because of the body, the senses, the mind, and the reflected consciousness in the mind. It's an event happening in the mirror, not in your real face. So, in that sense, as pure consciousness, you are not the bhokta, nor are you the doer, the karta. And now here the law of karma is implicated here. The law of karma says, whatever we do, we get the result of that. Causality. The results of our karma. Actions have consequences. Causes have effects. That is called karma. Vivekananda put it this way, good, good, bad, bad, and none escape the law. Whosoever wears a form, wears the chain too. The chain means our past karma, whichever has produced this form. However, then what does Vedanta do? Vivekananda says, far beyond name and form is Atman ever free. Know thou art that sannyasi bold. Say Om Tat Sat Om. In his poem, Song of Sannyasi, he says this. So, here he says, you are not the doer, not the enjoyer. If you are the doer, you have to get the result of that, pleasure and pain. Good, good, bad, bad. Good actions, pleasure. I mean, good life, pleasant life. Bad actions, unpleasant life. And we have a life which is pleasant and unpleasant mixed. So we know what our actions were. What kind of person was I in some past life? Look at your present life. But I am neither of that. All my past actions and all my present enjoyment and suffering is just like that sound of rain. You are the witness consciousness. Na karta, na bhokta. Then what am I? Chidruposi. You are of the nature of consciousness. Sada Sakshi. You are the witness consciousness. But what kind of witness consciousness? Yesterday I distinguished between the artificial witness consciousness and the real witness consciousness. Artificial witness consciousness is when I try to be the witness. I am breathing in and I am watching the breath. I am breathing out and watching the breath. I am watching all my sensations. I am watching this world. It's a practice. Good practice, but that's the artificial witness. It's not the real witness. The moment you stop it, it's gone. That's why people complain. It's all very nice, but when I get out into the world, it's all gone. No. What's gone is that artificial witness which you set up because of hearing this. That's not the point. What is being pointed out, the real witness does not come and go. That awareness which was hearing the sound of the rain. Listen. Isn't it the same awareness which is hearing these words? Isn't it the same awareness which is feeling heat or cold? Isn't it the same awareness which feels hunger and then experiences the eating the food and then feels full and satiated? Isn't it the same awareness which is going through life, waking, dreaming and sleeping? It's exactly the same awareness. That's what we are. Sada Sakshi. That is an unconditional awareness. Not coming and going. Not increasing and decreasing. Not changing. Always that witness content. Not dependent on Vedanta also. Vedanta is what they call Siddha. What is already established, what is the fact that's just being pointed out. One Swami said, we had a great teacher of Vedanta when, among the monks, he was there long ago. I have seen him in his old age, Swami Mukhyanandaji. So there's a very interesting example which I heard from another senior Swami, Sarvapriyananda, when they were students and Swami Mukhyananda was teaching them in the main monastery. And in order to show what is the uniqueness of Vedanta, he says, he comes to class and all the novice monks are sitting. He says, he had a high-pitched voice, he said, the grass is green. They all looked at each other. What? The grass is green. So, precisely so. The next he said, get me a glass of water. And then immediately some of them stood up. Yes, that we can do. He said, sit down, fools. See, that is a commandment. Do this. Speak the truth. Do not tell a lie. Do not steal. This is a commandment. Do this, do not do this. Understandable. It can be executed. But that's not Vedanta. That is called Karma Kanda, the preliminary part of the Vedas. Vedanta is the end of the Vedas, the final conclusion of the Vedas. That's like grass is green. It is pointing out a fact. The ultimate fact about ourselves. If I realize that's what I am, you're free. Samsara is over for you. Same samsara will continue, but you'll be free while living. All of samsara then will be sound of the rain. It will still continue. Body will continue, actions will continue. Much better life, a much more noble, helpful life. Nirapeksha, you are free now. Always where? You recognize your inherent freedom. Then what do? It always is very straightforward. Sukham chara. Live your life happily. Do I give up my job? Do I retire to the Himalayas? Many people do that. Very inspired. Somebody wrote to me. It was in Canada. I'm giving up the job and I'm going to become a monk in the Himalayas. I said, don't be in a hurry. Canada has some advantages. Himalayas have some disadvantages. There at least you have a climate controlled house to live in and meditate. Once I went to the mountains to meditate and somebody told me, what will you do in the mountains? I said, I'll meditate. And they said in Bengali, he said, Mosa kamrabe, mosquitoes will bite you. So there are advantages and disadvantages everywhere. People get very inspired. I'm off to the mountains now. I have understood what you have said, Swami. Ashtavakra, the greatest of the non-dualists, says Sukham Chara. If you see a distinction between Zurich and Himalayas, you still have not understood clearly. Himalayas are sound of rain. Zurich is also sound of rain. Same thing. Literally no difference. You see the difference? Somewhere you're still stuck up on some concepts and ideas in the mind. I mentioned Nisargadatta Maharaj yesterday. So when he became enlightened, it's very interesting how he became enlightened. If somebody asked him, how did you realize that you are Brahman? He said, my guru told me I am Brahman. I believed him, number one. Second, I tried to live accordingly. Both are difficult. First one is difficult, second one is even more difficult. But he tried. He said, became enlightened. But the result was when he became enlightened, realized I am awareness, limitless awareness. He used to sell these, what is called BDs, country-made cigarettes in India. Don't try it, very unhealthy. I don't know, maybe. But country-made cigarettes in India. And then he thought, why should I live this miserable life? In Bombay, he lived in a very congested, almost on the verge of a slum area actually. Very difficult part. And a little shop he had for selling this. He thought, why should I live this miserable life anymore? I am off to the Himalayas. And he started walking. And then he stopped. What am I doing? What is there is also here. What is here is also there. But means this one limitless awareness. And he came back. to that little house and the little shop, and he lived like that the rest of his life. That struggling to change one's external environment, that's the first struggle. I'll be happier if I make these changes. The next type of is immaturity. The child, I want these toys, then I'll be happy forever. Never. But anyway, one Buddhist monk, he wrote this very beautiful teaching. He said that he was an Englishman who became a Buddhist monk. He said, I lived in England. My mom was a single mom and she struggled very hard to bring us up. Not very rich. We are quite poor actually. One day in a village shop, I saw this beautiful model car. And I went and nagged my mom. Just one thing I want from you. Like any child, That, after this, I'll never ask for anything. And I really felt if I get it, I'll be completely happy. My joy will be complete. And one day I saw that the car was not there. Back from the school, I was coming back and saw the toy car is not there. Thought some rich kid must have purchased. Sadly, I came back home and I found it was sitting on the table. My mom had saved money and bought it for me. So I was delighted. Thank you. I'll never ask for you for anything again. I played with it 1 day, 2 days. Within a week or two, one of the wheels came off, and I had also already lost interest by that time. Anyhow, but my mom never threw it away. He says, my mom kept it in an almirah. Every time I asked for something, as I grew through the childhood to teenage and youth, she would say. And then he writes very poignantly. He says, now he's a Buddhist monk, and he says, he traces it back to those teachings from his mom. And he says, now my mom has passed away. I went back to England to bury her, and the car was still there. I buried that car with her in her coffin. That it's a great, great gift she gave, the teaching. So, sukham chara, be happy in life. Engage with life, wherever you are, in whatever circumstance you are. In life, in waking, dreaming, sleeping, in action, in work, in relaxation, in leisure, in meditation, with eyes closed, with eyes open, in the company of people, in absolute solitude. If one can be happy in complete solitude, and one can be peaceful in the midst of a busy situation, you are a true Vedanti. There are people who love solitude and quietness. Swiss people, I noticed. You'll have a difficult time of it in Manhattan, and a much more difficult time of it in Mumbai or Delhi. And there are people, still this is good. What is worse is people who can't stay by themselves. They must have company. I can't take solitude. I must have company. If nothing else, social media. All the time posting and updating and taking pictures. And ridiculous. Pitiable condition. I met this monk in the Himalayas. He was sitting and little kids, at that time pilgrimage was going on, so people had come, kids were playing around, they liked him because, have you seen a movie called Lord of the Rings? Yeah. Gandalf the magician, white dress and long white hair. That monk looked like that. His name was Brahma Chaitanya. He had long white dress and very long flowing white hair down to his knees. And he would tie it up and keep it like this. The kids loved him. I said, here you are, you're happy, all the laughing children are around you, and you are, he's a great Vedantin, very great, wonderful Swami. But in winter, what do you do, Swami? When you don't see a human face for 5 months, when the snow is up to your knees. And remember, snow there is not like snow here in Switzerland, because what is outside is also inside your room. If it is freezing outside, it's also freezing inside your room, unless you light a fire. So what do you do in utter solitude for 6 months in a year? In the top of the mountains. So he said, his answer I still remember. He was sitting in front of me with a twinkle in his eyes and a great big smile. He said, I'll tell you first in Hindi and then translate. Ab मैं मजे में हूँ स्वामी जी और तब और भी मजे में रहता हूँ. I am very happy right now, Swami, as you have noticed. But then I'm even happier. Then I'm even happier. In complete solitude. In the midst of company, I'm happy. In complete solitude, I'm even happier. In the midst of the bazaar of life, if you can enjoy the greatest solitude. Why? There's nobody else there. Here, there's nobody else except you, the one awareness. Everything else is sound of rain. You're in complete solitude here. You think the other people are there. They aren't. Sartre, not far from here, Jean-Paul Sartre, he wrote, hell is other people. Hell is other people. Well, thank God, there's no hell because there's no other people at all. All of them are you. Then, if you thought this is just the opening theme, the next one is even more stunning. Verse number 5. Ragadvesho manodharmau namanaste kadachana nirvikalposi bodhatma nirvikara sukham chara. Attachment and abhorrence are attributes of the mind. The mind is never yours. You are intelligence itself, free from conflict and changeless. Go about happily. All right. Yes, I am not the body, but this mind which is thinking, feeling, understanding, which is also listening to the sound of the rain, this mind, I am the mind. That's what I mean. I am the mind. I am an embodied person. I am a person. And immediately Ashtavakra anticipates that and says, no, you are not. Na manaste kadachana. Never was the mind yours. Just like this physical body appears in you, the awareness, the mind also appears in you, the awareness. It's as much an object as this one. Just as you are not this flower, although you are seeing the flower, you don't become a flower. And more so, if you are not the flower, then you are not orange also. This flower is orange or yellow, and you are not orange. I am a little bit, but just by seeing a flower, you are not a flower, and therefore the property of the flower is not your property. You are not the flower, you are not orange also. Similarly, you are not the mind, and most important, the characteristics of the mind, the features of the mind, the properties of the mind, they are not yours. So much depression, mind, orange color of flower, you are not depressed. The depression is also sound of rain. You are not depressed. Raga dvesho manodharmo. The likes, I want. Dvesha, I dislike, I fear, I hate. Both are properties of the mind. Color of flower, sound of rain, not yours. You are ever free. One sadhu put it this way. He said, parents know that what the children say and demand and complain about, you don't have to listen too much to it. Little children, they say so many things, they babble. Exactly like that. Treat your mind like a toddler. It says many things. It complains about many things. Don't jump to fulfill all its demands. It's not serious. I saw once in an airport, sitting across me, a little boy, the sweetest smile. But then what happened was, his father was giving him a chocolate, and the chocolate just broke into two pieces. That's all. It just broke. It's the same chocolate. And it's like a disaster for him. Started screaming. The whole departure hall was resounded with its screams. But even that intensity of despair, you have never felt such despair in your whole life. The intensity of despair, you know, the parents know, and we all know. It's not important. And he says, when your mind does that, anger, hatred, despair, or excitement, oh, this is great, all of it is like that little toddler. Treat it like that. If you start jumping to the tune of the mind, you're done for. That is samsara. It will lead you on a merry-go-round until the end of life you realized, I wasted my life listening to this silly fellow, the mind. Don't listen to the mind. Raga, dvesho, manodharmo. These are characteristics of the mind. Yes, work to improve the mind. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, meditation, ethical life, selfless life, strengthen the character. All are improvement of the mind. It will be a much better mind. But remember, useless, troublesome mind or ethical, peaceful, serene mind, excellent, yogi's mind, samsari's mind, both ways you are not it. First, take that stand. And then work to improve it. Because improving the mind is a lifelong effort. Sadhana. It requires sadhana. It requires practice. Again, I'll tell you one difference. Yogi's mind and samsari mind. Yogi told me in the Himalayas, in Gangotri, sitting there by the side of the river, Ganga, This was in August, I think, around this time, in rainy season in the mountains. So a lot of water, and there are landslides, so the water is muddy. Now, this person, this yogi sat next to me and was telling me, the difference between yogi's mind and samsari mind. Samsari mind is like this. Lot of water, lot of thoughts in there, lot of thoughts, emotions, ideas, and flowing fast, changing one after another, quickly changing, and muddy. It's troubled, it's turbulent. There is happy, there is sad, there is all sorts of mixtures are there, and you cannot drink it. It's dangerous. So actually, the day before, somebody had been swept away in that river. You could get killed if you try to get. Hindus, we try to take a holy bath, and what's better than a holy bath at the top of the Ganga, at the beginning of the Ganga? But you have to be careful and some common sense. It's a roaring torrent there. It's swept away and it's surrounded by sharp rocks inside, above, everywhere. You have to be very careful. So he says it's dangerous. The samsari's mind is dangerous. It's many, many thoughts, flowing very fast and polluted with all kinds of negative emotions, and dangerous. And he said, na khud pee sakte ho, na kisi ko pila sakte ho. You can't drink this water, you can't give it to anybody to drink. What it means, samsari's mind, it gives you no peace and you give no peace to anybody else. I did a seminar on stress management from a spiritual perspective long ago. I remember one thing I added to that, quite apart from all the techniques to manage your stress, be aware of how much stress you're creating for others. That's one side we don't look at it. After all, most of our stress is created by other human beings. That means we are creating stress. So you can't drink, this mind does not give you peace, and it does not allow you to give any peace to people around you also. You're really a source of, we don't realize how much of a pest we are to others. So, then he says, compare it to the yogi's mind. He says, he told me, the monk said, Aap agar jade mein aoge Swamiji, if you come in winter, then you will see the same river. It's mostly frozen in many parts, so the volume of water is less. Thoughts are fewer. They're all controlled. And there is focus, not so fast changing. There is focus. The yogi's mind is focused. Selected thoughts. It's under your control. And then he says it's pure. He says you can drink it straight away. It's so pure. It's clean like glass. He says you can see through. The language he used, I still remember. Upar se chawani phek do aap, you can see if you throw a coin into the river, it will settle down at the bottom, and from the top of the river you can read out the denomination of the coin. It's so clear. So the yogi's mind is clear, clean, swachha, pure. And he says you can drink it yourself, you can cross over it easily. You can drink it yourself and give it to others also. It will give peace to you, and you will be a source of peace to others. And it is not dangerous. It will take you across samsara. Samsari mind is dangerous. It hurts you and it hurts others. All right. So that's the difference. But this whole thing is yoga. This is not Vedanta. Ashtavakra is saying whatever it is, yogi's mind or samsari mind, and we are all somewhere in the in-between. It is first and most important thing to know is it's not you. You are pure awareness, the yogi is also pure awareness, and the grossest samsari is also pure awareness. So you are that awareness. Then what are you? Nirvikalposi, bodhatma. The self which you are, the Atma, is pure consciousness, bodha. What's the nature? Nirvikalpa. It is a very careful choice of words. Vikalpa means division or variety or options. The mind continuously has a variety of thoughts. Consciousness does not have variety. See, you hear the sound of the rain. You hear other sounds. That's vikalpa, variety. Sound of rain, sound of voice. But the awareness which noted the sound of rain and noted the sound of the voice is the same. It has no vikalpa, no change. It's like uniform light. That's what you are. Nirvikalposi, bodhatma, nirvikara, unchanging. The same light, constant. What do you do with all this? Sukham chara. Be happy. Be engaged in life. But engaged in life, the same body and mind? Yes. Now that you know clearly you are not the body mind, there are appearances in you. Now you can use them. They are safe to use now. They won't trap you. They will do exactly what they are meant to do. The body is a vehicle. The mind and the senses are instruments. They are your vehicle, your vessel for engagement with life. Sukham chara, be happy. Engage happily with life. Don't have to run away to Himalayas and stay there. You can if you want to, or you can stay here. If you do run away to the Himalayas and stay there, over time, with maturity, we'll realize it's not necessary. It's the same thing. Both there and here. It's beautiful. This may be more troublesome, more difficult to face, this kind of challenge, but still, ultimately the difference is not much. Because ultimately what really counts, as somebody said, whatever is behind you in life and whatever is yet in front of you in life is as nothing compared to what is within you. What is within you? This thing. The most happening of lives, amazing life, full of events. You'll be happy with that, great. The most humdrum and bland of lives, nothing really much happened in life. You're fine. Because all throughout it was the same one consciousness only. You just played different movies on it. No regrets. Fulfillment. When you are fulfilled, you will be of help to others, really of help to others. And why do all those people who set out to help others, social service, why do they always land up in trouble? Because they are also themselves not fulfilled. The moment they get some kind of appreciation, some kind of return, then the mind turns to that for fulfillment, self-fulfillment. You don't want any of it. Then you engage with life and do things for others. You'll do it very happily. You will not feel that my life is being wasted. I didn't get anything. What will you get? You have got the whole universe. It is yours. It's nothing but you. And we are all one consciousness. Let me just read that and conclude. We'll take on questions. It's a beautiful verse. I will not explain it. I'll just read it out and translate. 6th verse. 4, 5, 6. 6th verse. Sarvabhuteshu chatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani vigyaya nirahankaro nirmamastvam sukhi bhava. Realizing the self in all and all in the self, free from egotism and free from the sense of mine, be happy. Sarva bhuteshu chatmanam. This one consciousness is in all beings. It's not separate consciousness in each being. We are all one being. Sarva bhutani chatmani. And all beings are appearing in you, the one consciousness. Just like sound of rain. So this one awareness we are. Realizing this, vigyaya, having realized it. Realized in the sense, not just knowing it, that it's a fact. I recognize it spontaneously. Nirahankara nirmama. How do you disassociate with this little disassociate means step back from this total identification with one body mind. Nirahankara nirmama. Not mine, not I. A careful practice. Sukhi bhava. What do? Go to your office at the appointed time, cook your food, take a walk, exercise, talk to people. Sukhi bhava. Be happy. Be engaged, be happy. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.